Greetings once again, friends, live from Retro Central. My name is Peter, and this is Retro Unscripted review number 3. As always, I thank you very much for taking the time to join me today. Today I'm taking a look at OutRun 2006 Coast to Coast. This is the PlayStation 2 version that's playing on the GX TV today. And what prompted me to take a look back at OutRun 2006 is a recent video from the GameSack team, from Joe and Dave. They were looking at games that came from Sega after the Dreamcast had run its course, and this was one of the games that Dave brought up. So I took it for a spin, no pun intended, and spent some time on it over the last day or two. And what I found by playing the game is it's really, at least in my definition, one of the closest to perfect arcade racers that you can find, and there are a couple of reasons for that. The first is that it's very close to the arcade original. If you've played OutRun 2 in arcades, if you were able to find one, it looks just like it. There seems to be very little in the way of compromising that was done for the PlayStation 2 version. The other thing, if we can get to the title screen here, is when you go into single-player mode, it's more than just the arcade game. And this is something about arcade conversions or coin-op conversions that I really like. It is very easy to just dump a coin-op, emulate it on a disc, and play it exactly as you played it in arcades. But something that really keeps you coming back are extra modes, such as the coast-to-coast mode here, which challenges you to all kinds of different objectives, whether it's finishing races in first place, whether it's hitting other cars, whether it's dodging other cars, whether it's drifting around corners. And as you play through this mode, you accumulate outrun miles, which you can use to unlock certain things. As a matter of fact, just going into the showroom here, there are extra cars you can unlock. There are extra stages you can unlock, which I believe are the reverse of the stages that you're racing, so you start at the end and race back towards the beginning. There are reverse goals. There's background music, which is awesome in this game, especially if you're a fan of the OutRun games like I am. The music here that's been collected is just fantastic. I tend to gravitate more towards the arcade original because that's what I grew up playing, but for you it might be different. And then you have car colors that you can unlock as well. So really the game encourages you to replay it. Sure, it's the same thing over and over again if you play just the OutRun mode. Like backing up here, the OutRun mode is basically just like the arcade game. Race from point A to point B, but all the while going through goals and trying to get through all of the goals before the time runs out. But there's also heart attack mode, which are these extra objectives that I was talking about earlier. You accumulate hearts based on how well you accomplish these objectives. And then there's time attack, so if you just want to shoot straight for timing and as fast as you can go, that's available. But by far, the coast-to-coast mode I find the most enjoyable because it mixes everything up. There's a little bit of heart attack in there. There's a little bit of standard racing in there. And all of it's fun to do. And best of all, you accumulate outrun miles all the way so you can go ahead and unlock the more powerful Ferraris while you're playing. And I think that's great. The drawbacks, especially on my GX TV here, the graphics are a little bit muddy because it's small. There is an option to play it in 480p if you have the right television for it. Of course, this doesn't support that, but that's certainly available. So it's a little bit small to look at unless you're playing right on top of the television like I tend to do. Seeing what's going on and keeping up with everything that's going on the track can be a little bit difficult. But if you have a bigger TV, specifically if you have a CRT television, this game really pops and moves well. And the other minor thing about it that some people may complain about is that it is just racing. There's nothing else to do. After a while, you kind of get sick of racing. You get sick of seeing the same goals over and over again. That's why OutRun 2006 or any of the OutRun games really are best played in short spurts, just like you go to the arcade. You play for 1 credit, 2 credits, maybe play for 15, 20 minutes to get some miles, and then you put it away for a little while and you come back and it feels fresh and new. And it really is a fantastic game. I would put this up there in my own pantheon of arcade racing titles, along with F-Zero X, along with Ridge Racer Type 4, and of course the king of all of those games, the game that I hold in highest regard, Burnout 3 Takedown, which is my favorite arcade racing game of all time. So that's OutRun 2006 Coast to Coast for the PlayStation 2. It is still fairly cheap to find. It's a great game and a great addition to your PlayStation 2 library, whether you're just starting out or whether you have a pretty full library and are looking for something cheap to throw in there to try that is new. If you played OutRun 2006 before, I'd love to hear what your thoughts and opinions are on it. Also, if you have a list of favorite arcade racing games, go ahead and send those along too. I'm thinking about doing a top 5 arcade racing game video sometime in the near future, and I'd love to hear what some of yours are and compare them to my own list. That would make a pretty fun conversation. As always, thank you for watching Retro Unscripted and this Retro Unscripted review. I hope you enjoyed it. Until the next time, friends, thank you for watching and take care.